Hello, everyone, and today let's talk about mushrooms. A lot of people think about magic mushrooms, but think of that in terms of a medicine because so many things in nature, in the right dose, are medicinal. Even cannabis, herbs, and mushrooms themselves, as I say, have been really shown to have good benefit for veterans with PTSD. So it definitely is worth a look at. So let's take a multi-billion year history look at mushrooms. A lot of people don't realize that mushrooms were here before the trees and even the soil. So imagine that mushrooms arrived in their way, connecting with the sun and interacting with the stones, the rocks, and breaking them down into soil. So without mushrooms, we wouldn't have the soil, we wouldn't have trees, and we wouldn't have all the green vegetation that we have on our planet. Originally, there were 20-foot tall mushroom trees, mushroom plants, actually fungus, but no actual trees. Eventually, with all that soil, all of this greenery started to grow up and trees began. And then what happens with trees? They create a cover for the mushrooms. So the trees were taking up the sun and the mushrooms got smaller, and eventually they went underground with most of them. So some of them grow on trees, but there is a network of over 2 square miles of a mushroom, the largest organism in the United States. It's in Oregon, I think, and it is living in symbiosis with the trees. It supplies minerals to the trees, and the trees supply carbohydrates. So that's how that forest lives. Underneath all the trees you see when you go for a walk is a big carpet under the earth of mushrooms with their plumbing and communication, trees to mushrooms, mushrooms to trees, so the trees can actually get taller and the mushrooms can actually get wider. So that's the amazing symbiosis of nature itself. So now let's take a look at mushrooms as medicine. That's one of our main focuses. In traditional Chinese medicine, mushrooms have been used for centuries, thousands of years. Why is that? If you think in terms of nature, mushrooms have survived so long. And why is that? Because they have built an immune system to fight off an enemy, trees or animals or bugs or different pathogens in the environment. So they continuously create an immune system to combat that. So what happens when we use these fungi, these mushrooms as medicine, they enhance, they trigger our own immune system. So it's not just inflammation, it's not just infections, but it's even things like cancer, because cancer, which is an oxygen deficiency in many ways, the fungi are blood cleaners, removing toxins which can negatively impact the oxygen availability. So, one of the most popular is called turkey tail. If you've ever seen it, it looks like a turkey tail, and there'll be a picture of it in the actual blog itself. But this is a mushroom that is known for having anti-cancer properties. Additional ones are reishi and shiitake. These are immune system amplifiers and anti-cancer medicines. So they're really important to work out these types of medicines. There's the 5 mushrooms or the 7 mushroom blends in traditional Chinese medicine. But think of mushrooms differently when you see them in the forest or in a salad. They have incredible power for our immune system, for blood cleansing, for detoxing. And remember, they're so robust if they are on the largest piece of land the largest living organism on the earth. So, shrooms are good, and respect them and use them as medicines, and understand that when you're in the forest, there's a whole carpet of them there supporting the great trees that we enjoy when we go for our walk and our forest bathing. Thanks very much, and talk to you soon.